This week, I've been living with the brand new 2025 BMW Z4 M40i with the Handschalter package. And if you don't know what that means, it's essentially German talk for manual transmission. Kind of a celebration model of the return of the manual transmission in the BMW Z4. Since this new generation has been out, it has only been offered with the 8-speed automatic, but it is now offered with the 6-speed manual. And today, on this probably one of our last nice days in fall, Emily and I are going to show you what it's like to live with this new thing. So let's walk you around it first and talk about some specs and things on this car. So new for 2025, of course, is the manual transmission, but remaining on this M40i, the 3-liter B58 twin-turbo inline-six, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, and power is sent to the rear wheels via that 6-speed manual through a limited slip diff. So still a really nice recipe with the Z4. We all kind of knew this car was coming once the Supra was offered with a manual. I think in 2023 was the first model year. So it took BMW a couple extra years to get on the bandwagon with this platform. And I've always kind of preferred the Z4 over the Supra anyways. So this is kind of like the perfect car, the perfect roadster, the perfect BMW. I think it's my favorite one to drive out of their entire lineup. So excited to show you guys what that's all about today. But let's kind of poke around this thing at first. What do you think of the color?
I love it, clearly.
That's right, yeah, you do match it. Frozen deep green? I was correct. Frozen deep green metallic. This is the standard color on the Handschalter package. You also get these red brake calipers, you get black mirror caps, you get unique steering and suspension tuning, and stiffer sway bars. So this isn't just a manual transmission and appearance package only. They have tweaked some other things for the enthusiast buyer. And I think that the green over cognac looks fantastic. Let's pop the hood and we'll show you this B58. I love BMW hood pulls because you just pull it twice. There's no latch. It's easy. I also love that we have this huge clamshell hood that reminds me of my M Roadster. Very similar. So here's our B58. We've got some chassis bracing under the hood as well, and a really nice M Performance engine cover. This takes 0W20 oil, and you always know a quality paint job when the matte continues underneath the hood and in the door jambs and stuff like that. So a nice paint job here on this Z4. Did I shut the hood correctly? I think so. All right, we'll walk you around to the back and we'll show you the trunk. We're gonna leave the top down for today's entire video. Emily brought a blanket, so that's in the trunk here. You can see that. I guess they can kind of use it as a reference for space. Not a ton of room in here, but just enough, I suppose, for a couple of day bags if you're traveling somewhere. Got a net over here. And then behind this panel, I think there's like a fuse box, toolkit, goop kit, all that sort of stuff. So do you want to leave the blanket in the trunk?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, we'll leave it in the trunk. All right. Well, you guys pretty much know this car. They haven't changed anything really outside of what I already told you for the 25 model year. So I think it's time to just kind of jump in it and drive it. Some cool older stuff still exists on this Z4, this 2025 Z4. We still have Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which the TheTopher and I kind of agree are a better tire, a quieter tire, nicer to live with than the Pilot Sport 4S. So we still have that on here. And then when we step inside, we can hear kind of the old school chime in this car, and we still have a rendition of iDrive 7. So kind of like peak BMW in my mind, kind of like an area where everything just worked better than the newer cars. We have these nice cognac bucket seats. This is a standard choice with the Handschalter package. Goes really nicely with our frozen green paint. Yeah, interior is a nice place to be in this car. Pretty good room. How you feeling over there?
So good.
That's good.
Should have brought some sunnies.
Yeah, I guess I should have done the same thing. I forget that I have sunglasses now. I went so many years without them. Now I have them and I still don't use them because I forget they exist. All right, let's fire this thing up and we'll put it in Sport Plus, let you hear the exhaust, and then we'll go for a drive. We're just kind of gonna treat this as like a fun convertible day. We're gonna go out to one of our favorite spots to eat. We're gonna fill up, and then we're actually gonna go to the TheTopher's house after the fact and swap cars with him because we have a track day tomorrow. So a few stops, but we'll enjoy it all with unlimited sky here in the BMW Z4. I think that was BMW's best chime.
Yeah.
The new one is not
polite.
nearly as cool.
It is. Polite.
First thing I do when I jump into the Z4 is immediately put it into Sport Plus. And this is a very forgiving and tight Sport Plus setting. It doesn't rattle you to pieces in this car, and it just kind of feels right. So I admittedly have not really driven this car at all this week in Comfort or Eco Pro. Sport mode kind of feels the best. The TheTopher did the same while he spent his couple of days in the car. So let's give you a couple revs here. The B58 just sounds so fantastic. In my opinion, even better than the S58. It's just like a nice buttery inline six. Fantastic noise. Would you use the word buttery to describe?
You know, it actually is accurate.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay. Glad I got that right. Okay. Cool. We still have an iDrive knob down here to help control your infotainment screen, but it is still within reach if you want to use the touchscreen. We have wireless CarPlay. Lots of piano black going on in here. That is the default trim with the Handschalter package. So it does show a lot of dust with this being a convertible. There's just dust everywhere.
Yes.
Cup holder situation. It's a little bit annoying for the passenger because she has to reach over this, the cup holders exist within the center console. Luckily though, it's designed in such a way with this split folding armrest to where I can still shut this and I can still rest my arm, I can still change gear, and that cup is massive, so it does get in the way a little bit, but ergonomically it's okay. It looks a lot worse than it is. We also have additional storage back behind the seats with this little storage net. I took a Z4 on a road trip down to Peoria last year, maybe 2 years ago. It was a purple automatic car, so I have spent a lot of time in these, and believe it or not, this little shelf back here is very useful for keeping food, small things for road trips. It does a good job. And then we have a little pass-through to the trunk here as well, so you could fit some skis, I guess, through here all the way up, or golf clubs or something if they aren't in a huge golf club bag. But all right, let's get the sun out of your eyes.
Please.
And we'll go for a drive. Backup camera here, no 360 cam. But we do have lines that move with you. Very, very quick steering, really only 1 or 2 turns lock to lock. Okay, let's get the elephant out of the room right away. There are some interior rattles, and this was an issue with the 2023 Z4 that I drove as well. Directly behind my left ear, so all of you wearing headphones are gonna be able to listen to that the whole time. I do apologize. I tried putting the top up and down a few times, maybe to try and get things to settle, but the rattle kind of remains. So apologies for that, and hopefully BMW will be able to get that figured out at some point. I thought maybe over the last couple of years they would have figured it out, because I did talk about it in my 2023 Z4 video. But we're not going to worry about interior rattles today. We'll just try and enjoy this beautiful inline six. Really nice auto rev matching system here with this 6-speed manual. And honestly, as far as BMWs go, this is probably my favorite manual transmission of theirs to drive. I know I said the Z4 is my favorite car overall in their lineup right now, but this manual transmission, it is still a little bit rubbery, but a similar shifter to what you find in the M2, and it feels fantastic. BMW claims 382 horsepower, but it does feel faster than that. I always feel like these B58 cars are grossly underrated, to the point where they kind of feel like they're pushing 382 to the rear wheels. But that's old news. We've been seeing that since the Mark V Super came out. I just like listening to the noises it makes. What do you think? Just along for the ride today? Not saying much?
No.
She says, I just work here.
I'm enjoying the sunshine.
That's fair. That is definitely fair. All right, let's jump over.
Pay me.
That's true. You're an
I'm an unpaid intern.
An unpaid intern. That's right. Oh, we're not going to make this light because of that silly half cab. It looks like a toll booth on wheels. That's okay. No, this is, jokes aside, this is actually a very special car because it kind of marks the end of an era. The BMW bosses have kind of come out and said that manual transmissions in their cars are not long for this world. I know at some point they had said that it'll exist into the future in the M4, but I'm starting to think with this next generation of cars, if they follow suit with the M5 being plug-in hybrid, things like that, we probably won't see manual transmissions in future BMWs. So this is kind of a swan song special edition, and it's definitely a special moment to have lived with this car for a week, and definitely very grateful to have done so. Might own one of these someday. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to the M Roadster. Sometimes a little bit of character is what makes cars so good. All right, we're gonna go the back way. Trying to enjoy some lower speed, top-down driving. What I love about this car so much too is even driving in Sport Plus mode, the ride is so forgiving. I mean, are you comfortable over there as far as like ride comfort goes?
Very much so.
That's why I don't mind driving this in Sport Plus. It firms things up, obviously, but it isn't crashy. It gives you some more confidence driving this thing. And it's an easy manual to drive. It's nice to live with. This is not a manual that you wake up in the morning and dread having to do your commute in. Clutch grab point is very defined. Not to mention, you can drive everywhere with the roof down, and there's really no wind buffeting. Oftentimes I have to wear earmuffs while reviewing convertible cars, but not in the Z4. Your hair is staying put?
It is?
Yeah.
Usually we get places.
Hair's a mess. Yeah.
It's like I've been struck by lightning.
It's also interesting to compare this to the manual Supra, which I just spent a week with. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I had that 45th anniversary manual Supra. This car is so much easier to drive than that, and I don't know why that is. Someone in the comments may know if you're an expert on all of the key differences between Z4 and Supra. But this car is just easier to drive in the way that it seems to have less rev hang. Oftentimes when you're kind of pushing the Supra to the limit, you kind of get that like, when you're releasing the clutch. It's kind of easier to filter that out in this car and easier to drive it smoothly, which in turn just makes it that much more satisfying and fun to drive. You don't have to try as hard for smoothness. Need to get a little bit of heat in these tires. Oh, squirrel! Add that to the compilation of animals running out in front of me while driving.
Do you want me to order the pizza?
Oh, shoot, yes, you should. Yeah, we're going to have our favorite pizza in the entire world. I think even, what's his face? Dave Portnoy. I think he would rate it at least an 8.5. At least an 8.5.
It's a little floppy.
It's slightly floppy, but otherwise fantastic. This is just kind of an ideal day to me. Like this is what I live for. A car like this, a really satisfying manual gearbox, no top, makes a good sound. We still have some fall colors left, though we have kind of lost a lot of leaves. with my best friend, going to get pizza. It's just, this is just the best. So, and part of the reason why I haven't sold the Roadster, just because of the experiences that it allows. And that's kind of what needs to be realized about cars like this, is it's not always just about the car. It's about all the things that the car can enhance, all the experiences that the car can enhance for you. That 369 pound-feet of torque is made at its peak under 2,000 RPM. So that helps you with slow-paced driving, taking off behind slower drivers. It's not a jerky experience. Adds to the comfort of daily driving this Z4. It's really well tuned. I mean, they've had plenty of time to do it, but it feels super dialed in. Oh, look at that S14. 55 is actually pretty decent convertible weather when the sun's out. I'm comfortable. I don't even have my heated seat on.
Me either.
Yeah.
I do have a little.
You do have a hand warmer though, yeah. Yeah. So this, the Z4 starts at 66,000. This with the hand shift in German package is 77 grand. And it's got a couple of other options, Harman Kardon and things, driver assistance pack. But it's still going on like 20 grand cheaper than that Style Edition Boxster was. And I feel like this does everything just as well as that Boxster. And it almost completes its mission better, because that Boxster was a PDK.
Yeah.
This is a manual.
Yeah.
And this also has, well, the Boxster has the front trunk and the rear trunk, so it is just about as practical. In fact, the Boxster may have more room. But anyways, I think I prefer this over the Boxster Style Edition.
I did like the purple.
Purple Z4, yeah. The Auto Z4, you know, we praised this manual, and it is very good, but I often get the question regarding Z4 or Supra, would you get the manual or the automatic? And it's tough, because that 8-speed ZF is such a good transmission that it's kind of hard to argue against it. I would still choose the manual, just kind of for the principle of it, and I think a car like this, it should properly be a manual, and it makes it that much more fun on a day like this, being able to engage with the car a little bit more. But if you're somebody that isn't that passionate about manual transmissions, the 8-speed auto is fantastic. And it farts between gears too.
It does.
Yeah. You want to switch career paths? Go be an engineer? It's a Subaru WRX engaging in road rage with a truck.
He may have been honking at you though. Like,
No, he
saying,
wasn't.
like,
That truck pulled out in front of him. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Highway speeds, it's really not even that blustery. I don't even have the wind in my ears at 68 miles an hour. The rev to 1500 RPM. It's just a nice, satisfying little wah. It is really quick. Yeah, it's quick enough. Not super the purpose of this car, but the speed, the torque. I would say it's honestly a perfect level of power. I would not desire for this car to be any faster. Busy are they today?
Oh, not
Ooh, a
bad.
C8 Corvette. There's always good cars here. There's the owner's S-Class at the end. I think we'll go right here. Why not? I'll show you guys functionality of the top as well as we park. It does. Parking sensors, really small car, obviously fits in the spot with no problem. Electronic parking brake, and top just kind of looks like a window switch. You can put this up or down at speeds of, I think, 30 miles per hour, somewhere around there. That's it.
That was polite.
Yeah, goes up and down super quick. Okay. See how we fit here in the spot. Plenty of room there on both sides. It is kind of a wider car, but fits in the spot with no problem. Would you like to come enjoy the outdoors? Actually looks okay with the top up. Some convertibles look terrible with the roof up, but I think this looks nice. Rear window's glass. All right, well, we're gonna enjoy our pizza and then we're gonna go get some fuel and then we'll wrap this one up. Pizza stop is complete, and since Emily doesn't want to rest her feet on our leftover pizza, we'll go ahead and stick it in the boot, in the trunk.
It smells like
Smells
sulfur.
like gas, like sulfur. Okay. Anyways, pizza's in there, and in an effort to put the top down more quickly, I'm going to use the key fob. You can hold the unlock button here, close to the car, and it'll drop the roof for you.
Excellent.
Yeah. One of my favorite features of BMW convertibles. Goes down really quick. Of course, we have proxy key as well. You don't have to use your key fob to unlock the car. Oh. We have 2 more stops to make today. We're gonna stop at the gas station and fill up the tank for our track day tomorrow. And then we're gonna stop at the Red Shed Market
Yes.
and get some donuts. And maybe some cider, yeah, because ours expired, so get some new cider. Even with the windows down, it's not like terribly blustery. We'll stick them up though for the sake of the audio. It is popping in here today. It's all right. Actually, everybody's leaving as we pull in. All right. As this is a BMW, fuel filler is of course on the passenger side. Most German cars are like that. Do you remember why? I feel like I've told you before in the video.
Because if you're stopped on the Autobahn and you need to refuel, that way you're not in the road.
Standing in traffic. That's right. Okay.
I listen.
Yeah. All right. Stick some 93 in this thing. So this is fun. We can still be in communication. Look at this. I'm putting in fuel here and you're there.
That's okay.
Oh.
Don't go exactly as planned. Scan the QR code to try our free ChatGPT travel assistant guide geek.
I'm trying to mute this thing. It's not working. Let's get some 93 into this Z4. Check this out. BMW M recommends Shell quality fuels. The Z4 shall be happy. Wow, $400 million jackpot on Powerball. Maybe. The gas pump is telling us to. We probably should. Apologies for the car being a little bit dirty. I have been dailying it, genuinely. The Topher and I drove this car quite a bit this week, so gotten some good use out of this thing. And this must be freshly from California because it still has a California front plate. Usually when they bring the cars here, they'll leave the California plate on it, of course, but they'll ditch the one off the front because we don't require those here in Michigan. Just over 9 gallons going in. That pumped really quick. What was wrong with just fueling up your car without 16,000 commercials going off in the background? You remember those days? Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
All right, let's drown them out.
Excellent.
There's nobody else at the gas station, so I don't feel bad doing that. If there was anybody else, I would have been polite, but took the opportunity. This B58 is such a masterpiece. It sounds the best. The power delivery is progressive. It's just such a sweetheart of an engine. Not to mention the tuning capabilities. The aftermarket support for the B58 is incredible as well. All right, quick sound system test here before we reach our last stop. I think for what it is, and kind of with the space they have in this car to fit speakers, it does a pretty good job. There's speakers located not in the headrest, but directly behind both seats, so you do still have pretty good clarity even with the top down. I mean, sounds pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints. Interior comfort, hard to complain about that as well. I think when I took the road trip in this car, I was comfortable for the most part. I think minus the center console, it's a little bit stiff, kind of similar to the door panel. They have a little bit of give to them, and ergonomically also to rest your elbows, you can set yourself up nicely. Driving position, seating position in here is nice. With the seat all the way down, you can still see about halfway out over the hood of the car, so visibility in here is pretty nice as well. I just love this car. This is the best BMW I've driven in quite some time. I think it kind of completes its mission as a BMW. Old school BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Some spirit, some like rawness to this car. It does still exist within all of the modern BMW touches in here as well. So it feels the most BMW out of any other modern BMW. Who knows how long BMW will even make the Z4? I mean, they don't sell many of these cars. This is kind of just like a car that simply exists for brand image. I mean, I think they sell less than 2,000 of these a year. It's a very, very small number. So the fact that they even keep this car alive is fantastic. And I always get nervous when they make celebration models like this, because usually it means production is coming to an end. There it is, the red shed. This is where we're going to be wrapping our video today, guys. So thank you all so much for watching. All right, guys, let's give you one last look at this. Not the most in-depth Z4 video that I've ever filmed, but other Z4 videos do exist in the TOPHER multiverse, so we will link those down below for you. TOPHER filmed this car. I have a road trip on this thing like I've mentioned a million times. So plenty of other Z4 info out there, but I was hoping to kind of just showcase this 6-speed manual today, the overall spirited nature of this new what was it?
I don't know.
Handschalter BMW Z4. So thank you guys all so much for joining us on this lovely fall day.
Yes.
And that'll pretty much do it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, but just know that I absolutely adore this car and hope that it stays around for just a little bit longer. Cool. All right, well, thank you guys again so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.